All right, so I just got the Bambu Lab H2C in. Let's go and talk about it. So currently the H2C is right over there, and I just got it in, and I kind of want to talk about it, my feelings on it so far, the prints I've made, and go from there. All my printers are running right now, so just be aware of that as far as the noise level goes. All right, so this is the H2C. Now it's not printing right now, just so that way I can get close to it and not be super loud, but this printer is actually very, very quiet, which we'll touch on in a second. Now I've had this printer for about 48 hours. I've gotten 2 prints off of it, 2 like long-term prints, so we'll go over those in a second. I kind of want to talk over the unboxing, everything like that. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the H2C. So the first thing is it's a super unremarkable unboxing experience in the best way possible. If you know Bambu, you know that their stuff is Apple quality as far as unboxing. It's so easy, like as easy as it could be, you know, other than someone literally coming and unboxing the printer and setting it up for you. It's so easy. And this printer is no different. You take it out, there's a few screws holding some stuff in. There's a little bit more than usual, more zip ties, more pieces of foam blocks to remove, but nothing too crazy. Again, if you've had no issues unboxing other Bambu printers, this one won't be any different. There's just a lot more moving pieces, so a little bit more things to take out. There's some really brightly colored zip ties that you have to take out, and again, super easy to take those, so no big deal. And the initial calibration is super fast. It's like any other Bambu, to be honest with you. This is a super advanced, their most high level printer they make, but it's still as easy to use and function as like a P1S, which is kind of, I think it speaks to the quality of Bambu that you can have something so advanced be kind of pretty easy to get into, to be honest. The one thing I found pretty interesting is when it runs through the initial calibration, it does not calibrate the vortex system. You actually, to calibrate the vortex system, you need to go to the hot ends on the menu and actually start the calibration separately. So when you actually do the first calibration, it's just doing like vibration compensation, input shaping, all that basic stuff. And the actual vortex system needs to be calibrated separately. So just keep that in mind. I was really concerned when I did the calibration. I didn't see the vortex system move at all. There's a whole separate calibration where the hot end goes and drops the nozzle or the hot end or whatever on each of the vortex system slots and then picks it up, and it just kind of takes it around, and that's actually really cool to see. Now, as far as this printer, what do I think about it so far 48 hours in? I think in the multicolor, I'm probably gonna do a bigger video on like every brand's big attempt at helping with multicolor waste, and the tool changer, the Snapmaker U1, the Prusa Index, all that stuff, or IDEX, whatever it's called. The H2C, in my opinion, is the most polished of all of those that we've seen so far. It also seems like the one that's the most ready for like a consumer application. A lot of the ones like the XL, I feel like are just not ready. The Prusa one's obviously not ready because it's not out yet, and it's only currently going to be available as kits to upgrade to. Like there's a lot of iffy things in the Snapmaker I have no experience with. I had to reach out to Snapmaker to try to get a review unit, and they politely declined. So it is what it is. But the Bambu H2C is awesome. I really like it so far. It's definitely a printer that I think is not for everyone. If you are not doing things that involve like 4 or more colors on the same layer, I would avoid it. For me, and a big thing is I was not going to buy the H2C because I wasn't really doing a lot of multicolor stuff. I mainly do 2-color stuff because I have 2 H2Ds, or single color stuff because I have a bunch of other single color printers, or single nozzle printers rather. And to me, it just made more cost sense when selling items to not do a super large amount in a large multicolor because it was just going to cost me more money and more waste. So I never did them. But then I really sat back and thought about it. Am I not making those items because I can't sell them, or am I not making them because I don't have a printer that allows me to make them at a reasonable cost? And I think that's the big issue. So I bought this mainly for that, but also because this just enables me to do so many more things as far as multi-material. It also lets me kind of have one printer with a bunch of different nozzle sizes in one, so I can have a 0.2, a 0.6, 0.4, all these loaded into one printer, which means that this one can kind of do a lot of everything, which is really dope. So I'm excited to try that out. So far, I've done 2 major prints with it, so we'll touch on those in a second. But overall, I think my only concern with it is that this system requires 2 separate kinds of nozzles. You need the left side, which is using the H2D style nozzle. That's kind of like the A1s. And then the right side uses the Vortex nozzles. So this printer here actually requires 2 separate types. So you kind of, if you're going to get some nozzles to have on hand in case any clogs or stuff come up, you should probably buy left and right sides. So that's kind of an iffy thing. But overall, actually, it's super cool. It's really fast. It's very, very, like, I think the amount of waste I have right now is maybe a few strands when it has to swap a color when I very first set the printer up. So I'll show you guys the prints, and we'll go from there. All right, now because I haven't had the printer for that long and I wanted to make a video, I didn't want to do anything that was super huge and gigantic and, insane amount of colors, because that will still take a long time, even though it'll be quicker on this machine and less waste. A long time for me to be able to get a video out. So anyways, So the very first thing I tried out is, and these are both from Nostalgia 3D on Maker World. So this one is a Pikachu. It looks really nice. I mean, the quality came out perfect. I have no notes for this. Now, this is a print that I would typically avoid doing just because in the long term, this is realistically 4 colors. You have yellow, black, white, and red. So although it's not an insane amount of colors, not an insane amount of swaps, I would not want to do this all the time. So I would never really print something like this, to be honest with you, as far as like selling it. But dude, it looks super clean. Like it's kind of shocking how clean this looks, given that it's going through tons of swaps to create it. I don't know, man, I could have purged more. So that's also a big thing with this printer is you can change the purge settings to either be standard, which means it uses a lot more in the prime tower, or you can do purge saving, which saves more filament and doesn't have as big as a prime tower. I chose the purge savings option, or like the one that saves more. And so there could be even better print quality if you do that, that version instead. But I think this just came out perfect. Like in my opinion, this is an awesome print. So. And then the next model here is a Bulbasaur card. So this one is also super dope. This one has a little bit more going on with it, I feel like, than the Pikachu one. Just a little bit more finer details. So I did have to knock down the layer height, I think, to like 0.08. So it's definitely took a lot longer on this one, but the details came out great. It looks just awesome. This is another great print. So also, I forgot to mention, I made this really cool toy that looks just like my dog. So you can see here the details came out pretty good. I used fuzzy to kind of give it like a fuzzy hair like texture, and it came out really good. There was a clog when I did it. So I have a few more things I want to touch on now, looking back, but yeah, overall it came out super clean. And again, no issues there. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to get more prints in with this. The big issue I've had with this printer is I've never had the capabilities to print multicolor at a large scale with little waste, so I've always avoided it. But now that I can, it's kind of like the chains have been set free, but I'm also like, I have not prepared for this as far as what models to make on here. It is very freeing knowing that, like, realistically there is nothing stopping me now from doing like a 4-color, 6-color print. Yeah, obviously time is time, time's gonna take time, but the quality in the Bambus is just amazing, so I'm not upset about that at all. And in my opinion, the Bambu system it's really good. I have no real notes for it so far. Bed adhesion has been good. I know there was a lot of rumors about bed adhesion being bad. I've had no issues with my PI sheet that they brought in. I will definitely be buying a BQ sheet when that is available, just because I prefer the BQ stuff. It's just more reliable. The other plate that I really love is the Dud V2 cool plate. If they can bring that in, I would be very, very happy about that. But either way, I really like the printer. I would say it's definitely not for everyone. If you're not doing multicolor stuff or don't have the aspirations to do a lot of multicolor stuff, I would just avoid it. In my opinion, the best overall value printer that Bambu makes is either the P1S or the H2S if you need something bigger. P1S is just, it's knocking out the park for sub $600 as a combo. It's just, I can't imagine getting a better printer than that for that cost. I have 4 P1Ss and they're super reliable and they're workhorses, they really don't need much. And the H2S is phenomenal. And I have an H2D here and then another H2D down there, and they've all been great too. I think the H2D is definitely also more specialized. I do a lot of 2-color prints, which is perfect for the H2D, so those come out almost perfect every time. But I think this printer is going to allow for a lot of really, really cool things to be made. And I think that's also the big issue right now is there's a lot of cool things on Maker World, a lot of cool prints, but they're almost always like multi-part because people don't want to have filament waste, which is totally understandable. But then you get people doing these parts where although they're multi-part, they should be oriented properly so that way the supports are like very strategically not going to get in the way. But a lot of those times those multi-part prints, they're supported horribly, so you have all this scarring and you still have to glue it together, and it's just whole thing. So I'm really hoping that this enables people to have some really crazy cool designs that you probably couldn't have that quality level on before, So overall, great printer. I would definitely recommend you guys look up more into this printer if you're interested in it. I would not just buy it up front. I own a pretty decent sized print farm, so for me this just made sense to allow me and enable me to make certain items that I probably wouldn't have been able to make before. But if you're just in your workshop printing stuff, I think this printer could be really cool for you. I probably wouldn't recommend it as your first printer just because there's a lot of things going on here that might be a little overwhelming. So yeah, this has been the H2C kind of first impressions, first 48 hours. If you guys have any specific things you want to see, any specific prints you guys want to see, any specific models you guys would really like to see tested on here, let me know. For the most part, every filament I use is like the cheapest I can find. 3D Hojor has been perfect. I think some of these might be Esun. I really like Esun green, is like my favorite green, but I really am not using Bambu's filament just because it takes too long to get to me. There is a Bambu spool there. That is, I think that might be PLA support that came with the printer. I don't know, but I really don't use Bambu filament too often, to be honest. It's mainly other brands. Just like I said, whatever is cheap as I can find. But yeah, thanks for watching all the way to the end. I do appreciate it, and have a good one.